It is 3 a.m., and you are staring out of your window at that shiny new truck or that luxury SUV sitting in your driveway, and for the first time the excitement of the new car smell has been replaced by a cold knot in your stomach. You finally got the car you always wanted, but as you look at your bank account, you realize that you do not own that car, the car owns you. You hit the six-figure salary mark, and the first thing you did was sign your life away for a $1,000 monthly payment because the system told you that a man of your status deserves to drive something nice. But as you lie there in the dark doing the math for the 100th time, you realize that you are not driving a symbol of success. You are driving a $70,000 anchor that is dragging your entire financial future to the bottom of the ocean. Welcome to the $1,000 car trap, where the modern middle class is trading their freedom for the privilege of looking rich in a traffic jam. The dealership did not sell you a vehicle, they sold you a debt contract wrapped in shiny metal and leather seats, and they used every psychological trick in the book to make you focus on the monthly payment instead of the total cost. They asked you what you could afford per month, and you said $1,000, thinking it was manageable, but you forgot that you are trading 84 months of your limited life force for an asset that starts rotting the second you drive it off the lot. The math is fundamentally broken because you are paying 8 or 9% interest on a depreciating hunk of plastic and steel that loses 20% of its value before you even get it home. You are essentially burning your hard-earned cash to fund the lifestyle of the dealership owner while you stay trapped on a treadmill of endless labor just to cover the next interest charge. This is not transportation. It is a sophisticated wealth extraction machine designed to ensure you never have enough capital to truly walk away from the system. Think about the opportunity cost of that $1,000 every single month, because this is where the theft truly becomes visible to anyone willing to look. If you took that same $1,000 and put it into a productive asset like the S&P 500 or a high-yield investment, instead of a car payment, you would be looking at over $1.5 million in 25 years. The system knows this math perfectly well, and that is exactly why they want you focused on the latest tech features and the heated steering wheel instead of your net worth. They want you to trade $1 million future for a $70,000 toy that will be worth nothing in a decade. You are sacrificing your children's inheritance and your own retirement just to impress people you do not even like at a red light. It is time to stop viewing your car as a sign of your worth and start seeing it as the primary obstacle to your actual freedom. Modern car loans have been stretched to 7 or even 8 years, which is a death sentence for the middle class because it ensures you are always underwater on your loan. By the time you finally pay off the car, it will be old and breaking down, and the system will be right there waiting to roll you into a new loan for an even more expensive model. You are caught in a perpetual cycle of debt where you never actually own anything, and you are always one missed paycheck away from the repo man showing up at your door. The banks and the insurance companies and the gas conglomerates are all feasting on your labor while you struggle to keep up with the rising costs of just existing. You have been sold a lie that a new car is a necessity for a reliable life, but in reality, it is the very thing that makes your life fragile and unstable. The hidden tax of car ownership goes far beyond just the monthly payment, because as the price of the car goes up, so does the cost of everything associated with it. Your insurance premiums have doubled because the sensors in your bumper cost $5,000 to replace after a minor scratch, and your registration fees are higher than ever because the state views your luxury SUV as a moving piggy bank. You are working 40 hours a week just to pay for the car that takes you to the job you hate, and then you spend your remaining hours worrying about how to afford the maintenance on that car. It is a closed loop of financial insanity that is designed to keep you exhausted and compliant, so that you never have the mental energy to question the blueprints of your cage. The math of 2026 is brutal and unforgiving, and if you continue to play the status game, you will end up with a driveway full of toys and a life full of regret. Corporations spend billions on neuromarketing to find the exact dopamine triggers in your brain that make you say yes to a bad deal. They know that your ego wants to feel superior, and they use that desire to lead you straight into a debt trap that lasts for nearly a decade. They have successfully turned the automobile into a modern-day shackle that keeps you anchored to a geographic location and a corporate hierarchy because you cannot afford the risk of being unemployed for even a single month. You are a high-earning slave who is decorated in expensive logos and premium paint, but you are still a slave to the next payment. True wealth is not found in the car you drive, but in the hours of your life that you actually own. And the system has done everything in its power to make sure you never realize that simple truth. The rise of the long-term auto loan is a symptom of a dying middle class that can no longer afford the basic components of a good life without using massive amounts of leverage. We are living through a period of extreme economic gaslighting where you are told that everything is fine while your purchasing power is being shredded by inflation and your savings are being hollowed out by interest. The $1,000 car payment is the final nail in the coffin for the average American family because it leaves zero margin for error in an increasingly volatile world. If you are betting your financial security on a depreciating asset, you are gambling with your future, and the odds are heavily stacked against you. It is time to wake up and see the dealership for what it really is, which is a high-end prison for your capital. The only way to win this rigged game is to stop playing for status and start playing for freedom, which means driving the cheapest reliable car you can find and investing the difference. The system will laugh at you and your friends will judge you, but while they are drowning in interest payments, you will be building the foundation of a life that is actually worth living. My name is John, and I have spent my life deconstructing these traps so that you can find the exit door before it is too late. We are in the middle of a massive financial reset, and the people who are tied to monthly payments will be the first ones to be wiped out. Subscribe to this channel, and let us continue to deconstruct the matrix together so that you can finally take back control of your time and your wealth. Stop serving the banks and start serving your future self, because the math of the modern world is designed to fail you unless you change the way you play. The most dangerous part of this cycle is the trap of negative equity, where you owe more on the car than it is actually worth on the open market. In 2026, the used car market is more volatile than ever, and millions of people are walking around with $10,000 or $20,000 of underwater debt hanging over their heads. When you try to trade in that car, the dealership simply rolls that old debt into your new loan, ensuring that your next monthly payment is even higher and your financial hole is even deeper. You are essentially paying for the ghost of your previous mistakes while sitting in a new leather seat that is already losing value by the hour. It is a mathematical black hole that swallows your wealth and your hope, leaving you with no way out except to keep working and keep paying. The banks love this because they get to charge you interest on top of interest, creating a perpetual motion machine of wealth transfer from your pocket to their balance sheet. You must realize that the modern automobile has been transformed from a tool of independence into a rolling surveillance and extraction device designed to harvest your data and your cash simultaneously. Every sensor in your bumper and every screen on your dashboard is a proprietary piece of technology that can only be serviced by authorized dealers at astronomical prices. They have successfully killed the era of the backyard mechanic, making you entirely dependent on a corporate supply chain that views you as a captive customer. In 2026, a simple software glitch or a minor sensor failure can cost you $3,000 in labor and parts, which is equivalent to 3 months of your hard work. You do not own the software that runs your engine, and you do not own the rights to repair the machine you supposedly bought for $70,000. You are just a temporary user of a complex appliance that is designed to become obsolete the moment the warranty expires. There is a profound historical tragedy in the fact that it now takes the average worker 4 times as many hours of labor to buy a vehicle compared to their grandparents in the 1960s. Back then, a single full-time income could buy a brand new car with just a few months of savings. But today, it requires a lifetime of high-interest servitude. We have been sold the lie that this is progress because our cars have Bluetooth and backup cameras, while our actual quality of life has been hollowed out by the cost of these toys. The system has successfully commoditized the feeling of mobility while actually making you less mobile because you are anchored to the debt that fuels your commute. You are trading the best years of your life for a depreciating hunk of metal that will be sitting in a junkyard in 15 years, while the banks will still be holding the profits they extracted from your youth. The reliability myth is the primary weapon used by car salesmen to guilt you into taking on a massive loan by playing on your fear of being stranded or having your family in danger. They tell you that used cars are a gamble and that you need the latest safety features to keep your children safe, while they ignore the fact that the stress of a $1,000 payment is the real danger to your family's stability. Modern cars are built better than ever, but they are also built to be unrepairable by design, ensuring that the secondary market is always suppressed in favor of new car sales. They have convinced the world that a 5-year-old car is a ticking time bomb, when in reality the real bomb is the 84-month debt contract sitting in your glove box. You are sacrificing your financial security for a peace of mind that is manufactured by a marketing department to serve a corporate bottom line. Your $1,000 car payment is the single biggest obstacle standing between you and the home you want to own, because the mortgage companies look at your debt-to-income ratio before they ever look at your character. By choosing to drive a luxury status symbol, you are effectively telling the bank that you would rather look rich today than be a homeowner tomorrow. In 2026, the housing market is so competitive that even a small car loan can be the difference between an approval and a rejection. Yet millions of people continue to prioritize their driveway over their foundation. The system wants it this way because a man who is trapped in a car loan is a man who will never have the down payment to escape the rental market. You are being kept in a state of permanent childhood where you are allowed to have expensive toys, but you are never allowed to own the ground you stand on. The refinancing scam is the latest trick in the banking arsenal, where they offer to lower your monthly payment by extending the term of your loan for another 2 or 3 years. They sell it as breathing room for your budget, but in reality they are just increasing the total interest you will pay while ensuring you stay in debt for the entire life of the vehicle. You end up paying for a car long after its mechanical parts have failed and its technology has become ancient history. It is a psychological trap that makes you feel like you are winning while you are actually being bled dry by 1,000 small interest charges. The math of the modern car loan is designed to be confusing so that you never calculate the true cost of your life, which is being sold off 1 month at a time to an institution that has no face and no soul. The banking industry now makes more profit from subprime auto loans than they do from traditional savings accounts, because they have realized that people will stop paying for almost anything else before they stop paying for the car that gets them to work. This makes your car loan one of the most valuable assets in their portfolio, and they trade these debts like baseball cards on the global market. You are not a customer to them. You are the underlying asset of a complex financial derivative that is being bet on by hedge funds in New York and London. Your struggle to make that $1,000 payment is the yield that funds the bonuses of the elite, who view you as nothing more than a data point on a spreadsheet. When you realize that your labor is being packaged and sold to the highest bidder, you will finally understand why they want you in a new car every 3 years. We are entering the era of the subscription car, where corporations like BMW and Mercedes are starting to charge you a monthly fee just to use the heated seats or the remote start features that are already installed in your vehicle. You paid $70,000 for the hardware, but you still have to pay a recurring tax to access the software. This is the ultimate conclusion of the ownership heist, where you own the physical shell of the car, but the corporation owns the soul of the machine. They want a world where every aspect of your life is a recurring cost that you can never escape, and the car is the perfect testing ground for this new digital feudalism. If you do not stand up and refuse to play this game, you will find yourself in a world where you own nothing but a mountain of logins and a valley of debt. Status is a drug that is more addictive than any chemical, and the system uses it to keep the middle class in a state of perpetual competition with each other. You see your neighbor with a new truck, and you feel a pang of inadequacy, so you head to the dealership to reclaim your position in the social hierarchy. This is a game with no winners except the house, and the house is the financial system that funds both of your loans. True wealth is silent, and it does not need to roar through a custom exhaust or shine with a ceramic coating. The wealthiest people in America drive 10-year-old Toyotas because they understand that a car is a tool for transportation, not a costume for their ego. It is time to stop caring about what the people at the red light think of you and start caring about the freedom that a 7-figure brokerage account provides. The opportunity cost of your car payment is the most expensive thing you will ever buy because it steals the magic of compound interest from your future self. That $1,000 a month invested at an 8% return for 30 years turns into $1.5 million of cold hard cash that could buy you an entire lifetime of freedom. When you sign that car loan, you are literally deciding that looking good for the next 5 years is more important than being a millionaire for the last 20 years of your life. The math is simple and brutal, yet the majority of the population chooses the shiny toy every single time because they have been conditioned to crave instant gratification over long-term sovereignty. My name is John, and I am telling you that the only way to win is to stop buying the lie that debt is a tool for the middle class. The exit strategy from the car trap is simple, but it requires a level of discipline that most people are unwilling to cultivate in a world of easy credit. It starts by driving the car you have until the wheels fall off, and then buying the next one with cash that you have saved from the absence of a monthly payment. It means being the person who is laughed at for driving an older model while you secretly funnel your income into assets that pay you while you sleep. The system will try to pull you back in with low interest offers and high-tech promises, but you must remain focused on the goal of absolute financial independence. Once you break the cycle of the car payment, you will find that your stress levels drop and your bank account begins to grow at a pace you never thought possible. I have spent my life deconstructing the matrix so that you can see the wires behind the curtain, and the car trap is one of the thickest wires in the entire structure. The financial architects want you to be a perpetual consumer because a consumer is a man without a plan, and a man without a plan is a man who can be ruled. It is time to take back your time and your energy and your wealth by refusing to fund the lifestyles of the elite through high-interest depreciating debt. Subscribe to this channel and join me as we continue to tear down the blueprints of the status quo and build a life that is actually based on the math of truth. My name is John, and the heist ends the moment you decide to wake up and stop playing their game. Let's get to work on your future because nobody else is going to do it for you. The only way to win this rigged game is to stop playing for status and start playing for freedom, which means driving the cheapest reliable car you can find and investing the difference. The system will laugh at you and your friends will judge you, but while they are drowning in interest payments, you will be building the foundation of a life that is actually worth living. My name is John, and I have spent my life deconstructing these traps so that you can find the exit door before it is too late. We are in the middle of a massive financial reset, and the people who are tied to monthly payments will be the first ones to be wiped out. Subscribe to this channel and let us continue to deconstruct the matrix together so that you can finally take back control of your time and your wealth. Stop serving the banks and start serving your future self, because the math of the modern world is designed to fail you unless you change the way you play.